In this lesson, I'll be explaining all you take to understand quadratic equation by completing the square method. So guys, now we have the questions. Solve the equation 2x plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0 using the completing square method. So as I explained in my former lesson, you can go and check it out. As I explained before you understand completing square method, you should be able to understand perfect square of quadratic equations. So now we have solution to the problem we have. So we have the question here, 2x plus 3x, 2x, sorry, we have square here. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So now, in solving this equation using completing square method, the first step to follow to solve it, you have to divide throughout by the coefficient of the first term. What do I mean by the coefficient? The constant, the number that is written together with x squared, you have to divide it through for each term. So in dividing, we divide throughout by the coefficient of x squared. So the coefficient of x squared is 2. So we now divide 2x raised to the power of 2 divided by 2 plus 3x divided by 2 minus 2 divided by 2 is equal to 0. So 2 cancel 2, we have x squared plus 3 all over 2x minus 2. Sorry, if you divide 2 divided by 2 will give us 1, and that will be equal to what? 0. So that is the first step. The second step, take the constant to the right hand side. Carry this constant to the right hand side, and taking the constant to the right hand side, what you will do, since the sign is plus, that sign will revise to plus sign. If we are taking this minus sign, minus 1, to the right hand side, crossing this equality sign, the sign revise to positive sign. In mathematics, that is just it. Put it at the back of your mind. When dealing with inequality, whenever you're taking a number to the other side of equation, the sign changes. If it is plus, it changes to minus. If it is minus, it changes to plus. So now, since 1 is having minus 1, we will take 1 to the right hand side. The equation will now x squared 3 all over 2 is equal to 1. Why? Because 0 plus 1 is the same thing as 1. So when we take this minus 1 to the other side, the sign changes to plus. So 1 plus 0 is just 1. Okay? So now, the next step is for you to add both sides of the equation by the square roots. Let's put it down. Add both sides by the half. Add both sides by half square of the coefficients of x. And what is the coefficient of x? That is 3 all over 2. So we are going to add both sides of the equation by the half square of the coefficient of x. So now we have x squared plus x squared plus 3 all over 2x plus so half of this. Let's look for half of x, the coefficient of x, and the coefficient of x is 3 all over 2, and half of it, that is half, means we are dividing it, we are halving it. So 3 all over 2 divided by 2. This is the same thing as, let me do it up so that you see it very well. The coefficient of x is 3 all over 2, so half of it is 3 all over 2 divided by 2. This is the same thing as 3 all over 2 divided by 2, and this is the same thing as, you now use reciprocal, that is, you change division sign to multiplication sign, so you turn the right hand side upside down. Any number that is not having denominator is 1. Like now 2, only 2, the denominator of 2 is what? Is 1, because 2 divided by 1 is 2. So just take it at the back of your mind that this 2 that is not having denominator, the denominator here is 1. So by the time we are reciprocating it, that is 3 all over 2 times 1 all over 2, because denominator of this 2 here was 1, invisible one that you cannot see it, because any whole number without denominator is 1. Take it at the back of your mind. So now, as we now revise 1 up, that will give us 3 times 1 is 3, and 2 times 2 is 4. So now the half square, so we now take square of this. So square of this, 3 square is what? Is 9. 4 square is what? 16. So this the half square of the coefficient of x now is what? 9 all over 16 is equal to 1 plus 9 all over 16. So this is our equation now. X squared plus 3 all over 2 x plus 9 all over 16 is equal to 1 plus 9 all over 16. So now, guys, this is the equation. So now, if you observe your left hand side, you discover that this has formed a perfect square expression. So since this formed the perfect square expression, as I explained before, take the square root of the first term and the last term, multiply it by 2, is going to give you this middle term. Let's check it out. Square root of 9 all over 16 is 3 all over 4. So square root of x square is x. So x times 3 all over 4 will give us 3 all over 4x. But before you get the middle term, is the square root of the first term and the last term multiplied by 2 that always give you a middle term. So now when we multiply this by 2, this is the same thing as 6 all over 4x, and when we look for the LCM, 2 here is 3, 2 here is 2, so that is 2 all over 3 all over 2x. So this has gives us the middle term, which means that is a perfect example of perfect square equation. So now, since we discovered that our left hand side has formed perfect square expression, what we'll do, we'll now put it in a perfect square, because when you factorize a perfect square equation, you're going to have double of roots. You're going to have double roots. So the double root here will be bracket open x plus 3 yes 3 all over 4 square, and this is equal to 1 plus 9 all over 16. So from here we have x plus 3 all over 4 square equal to, so here now we are going to find the LCM, and the LCM here is 16. So for us to find the LCM here, we are going to use 16 as our major LCM, and to find, you are going to multiply, because I explained before, any number without denominator, so 1 is having denominator of 1, so this side is 1. So before you find the LCM, you multiply this one up and you multiply 16 up and down, so that will give us 16 plus 9, and this is equal to 16 plus 9, that is 25 all over 16. So which means our right hand side is 25 all over 16. So now we take the square root from both sides. Take square root from both sides. So square root of x 3 all over 4 and 25 all over 16. So square, we remove square roots. We have x plus 3 all over 4 is equal to square root of this, give us 5 all over 4. 5 all over 4, because square root of 25 is 5 and square root of 16 is 4. So now, since we have taken the square root from both sides, we now have x is equal to 5 all over 4 minus 3 all over 4. Why? As I explained before, it's plus or minus. Plus or minus. As I explained before, taking this 3 all over 4 plus sign, we change to minus sign. So now, our x now is equal to 5 let's put it in a way we understand. That is, x is now equal to, taking this to the other side, plus or minus 5 all over 4 minus 3 all over 4. But first of all, we'll go with the first sign, which is plus, then we'll use the second sign. So going with the first sign, x is equal to plus 5 all over 4 minus 3 all over 4. This will give us x is equal to, since the LCM is the same, 5 minus 3 is 2. So that is 2 all over 4. And we can still go further simplify to have x is equal to 1 all over 2 as the first root. So the second root, from this descent we can now use the second sign, which is x is equal to minus 5 all over 4 minus 3 all over 4. X is equal to minus 5 minus 3, that is 8 minus 8 all over 4. And this is the same thing as 4 into 8 minus 4. Sorry, 4 into 8 is minus 2, and 4 into 4 is 1. So it's now the same thing as x is equal to minus 2. Therefore, x is equal to x is equal to 1 all over 2 or minus 2. These are the roots of that quadratic equation using completing the square root method. So if you understand my lesson very well, please guys, please help me to grow. Help me, please help me and turn on the notification bell so that anytime I post this kind of content, you should be able to be the first one to see it. I promise you. Then subscribe to my channel. Thank you